I guess just that extra bit of development. Not sure. Meanwhile, what's France doing? One thing I do want to see is, does France have any AE? They do not. And I still think that a bunch of this is going to be French cores, so I'm not sure that they will get much aggressive expansion for doing this. I mean, this is basically just the French consolidation. Ireland, in the meantime, also no AE. Commonwealth. A little bit in Italy, of all places. Although... it's because they made Albania a personal union. Yes, Holland. What is it? Look at the leagues. Oh, the leagues spawned. The leagues have spawned. Alright, so on the Protestant side, we have got Austria, we have got Denmark, we have got Holland. On the Catholic side, we have got Sweden. That's it. Oh no, and Andalusia. Andalusia's on the Catholic side. Interesting. Unfortunately, both of these players aren't here. So that's been done by the AI. And Portugal is on the Protestant side. So there is going to be conflict between these two, if only through the League War. Is that going to break apart any alliances? No. Depending on what Ireland does, of course. What is the Commonwealth trying to do? You've beaten him. You have 99% war score. I wonder if Muscovy is sending any peace deals. We'll see if anything appears. Muscovy has conquered one fort. Valmar was conquered by the Muscovite forces. Not entirely sure who did that, but well done.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
If you want to have a quick look at the trade map mode,
yep,
and at the most valuable trade nodes.
You're winning. Well done. It's close. There's 1.5 ducats between you and Genoa.
1.
Oh, no,
well,
it's gone to
2 ducats. Yeah.
It was 1.5 when I was saying that.
Yeah. You don't have to be in Genoa to be the richest trade node.
And I see that you finally upgraded your centers of trade to level 2, so very wise.
Yeah, finally making a decent income. I also made a deal for the island of Ceylon.
Have you indeed?
Yes.
How can you even see that? You can see that. Okay, fair enough. You are Portugal after all.
Yes, I can see most of the world. It's about Northern and Central Asia is about the only thing I can't see. And North America.
Fair enough. So is this going to be leading trade away from the Mamluks by any chance?
Yes. Well, I'm pulling trade away from Coromandel. I don't have any control over Gujarat or Gulf of Aden, though.
Yeah, but if you have Coromandel, then can basically stop anything from the east going into the Mamluks.
That's the plan.
That's a wise plan, too. And you've already built up those centers of trade? Yeah, wise, good.
Yep.
And
once they start really rolling in the ducats, they'll go level 3 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking through the incomes earlier, trying to judge like how much everyone was making. The Mamluks were running away with it, because the Mamluks were the only ones with level 2 centers of trade. Now that you've upgraded, your income has jumped by about 50 ducats a year.
Yeah, I noticed. It's good. I've got some loans still to pay off.
Literally, no player, with the exception of Vijayanagar and the Mamluks, have built centers of trade. None.
Wow. Well, Vijayanagar... Oh, God, they have a lot.
Yeah, so, like, taking control of Coromandel from them is going to be a challenge, to say the least. But you have your foot in the door.
Yeah, I've got enough control to siphon off some money, especially when I can build the trade company improvements. There's that one that gives you 50% trade steering.
Mm-hmm.
And once I pick up, I don't know if I'm getting trade ideas, but at least Maritime should give me some more.
Maritime gives you the ship trade power, doesn't it?
Ship trade power, yeah.
If you have the policy. Oh, and you have also naval tradition from protecting trade, which is going to pay off dividends with maritime.
Yeah.
And also just more ships. 50%
Just
more
more
ships.
All the ships.
So many ships. Does Portugal get a ship limit modifier? No,
I don't think so. I get a whole bunch of like trade transfer. I get goods produced, trade power, and trade efficiency, plus some settler stuff.
Yeah. I think mostly it is going to be settlers for you. So do you have any plans for Indonesia? Because if you can take Malacca, then you can cut India off.
Yep, I'm planning on getting in there. Brunei potentially might be an issue there. I haven't chatted to them yet.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
Yeah, especially since they're going into South America as well, down on the Horn.
Oh, hello.
So I have a question for you. I have Mindbore 100% sieged out, 100% war score. Is he allowed to just keep rejecting peace deals?
Yeah. Well, that is technically nation ruining. I'll have a chat with him.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, Helson, what you can do is you can stab hit him. That's allowed.
I think he already has -5.
In that case, he can't reject. No, he's on 0.
And so I have to go, less than 100% to stab hit him?
Yeah, I think it's 50% or something like that. It says if the nation rejects this, then their people will be unhappy or something like that. There's a message.
He keeps trying to give me regular provinces. I want reconquest. I'm not spending 200 Diplo.
Have you actually talked to him, like person to person, about what the peace deal should be?
Nah. Hey, I'm going to jump over and try to talk to him.
Yeah, I would do that. Oh. He accepted for splitting Novgorod out. Novgorod's a vassal of the Commonwealth. Alright. So, Commonwealth grows ever larger. When are players going to recognize that that's probably a problem? Where's the play map mode? There it is. Everything pink is Helson. Like, it's kind of scary. And he now has a border with Denmark, so Denmark's going to be a little concerned about that. Prussia and Helson have been in actually fairly good diplomatic agreements so far. And the fact that Helson helped Prussia form makes me feel like that might actually be a lasting peace. There, you're welcome. Although, you never know with Prussia. But I think at this point, the Commonwealth is so much bigger than Prussia that Prussia can't do anything against the Commonwealth, otherwise they will just be obliterated. And I don't think the Commonwealth has much interest in going in Germany. I think the Commonwealth's ambitions are solidly east at this point. So the one that could really suffer are the Timurids and the Ottomans. Right now there is a Timurid Commonwealth alliance, but if the Timurids continue cutting the Commonwealth off, I don't know how long that's going to last. The Morocco player is going to be so triggered when he gets back. Yes, he is. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Ireland, what did you actually take? Or have you just vassalized them? Nope. Three provinces, those three. I would guess because of coalitions. Nope, that's not even a threat. Why did Ireland take so little? Unless they've got an agreement with one of the other players to split Britain between them. I mean, that is possible. Holland might, for example, want to go after more. Although Holland was definitely dancing around the coalition issue. There are definitely a couple of rather upset nations at the moment, especially as Holland has just expanded further south. That's a 50. 48, 52, that's 2 nations. I think you need 4 nations, 3 or 4 nations to trigger a coalition. So he has actually avoided that one pretty nicely. But now Holland needs to be very quiet for a while and just not do anything to upset anyone. Hey, Fred. When I talk to a nation, can I please identify which nation I'm talking to? Yeah, sure. So the one that we were talking about just now was Portugal, and then the one who came in later talking about the war with Muscovy was obviously Commonwealth. But I'm really, really pleased that somebody else is finally understanding the power of trade. I think that their income has gone from 8 ducats to 43. Like, that is how good having centres of trade is. It's a really, really big deal. So Portugal has finally discovered that, which is fantastic. I would say the bigger loser from that right now is Andalusia. Andalusia does have 4 centres of trade, so we'll be able to take a big portion of that. So there is going to be conflict between these two nations simply because of the Sevilla trade node. They're both going to want a piece of that pie. Whether they can come up with some agreement to share that money, it's possible. Or, and this is what Seraphicus, who is the player in Andalusia, and I did, is I said, I will take control of all the trade, and I will pay you a subsidy based on that trade. So I focus all the ideas on trade, I generate the most money from that, so leave all of the money in the trade pot to me, and then I'll pay you a subsidy based on that, and that way both of us make more cash. Portugal could offer a deal like that, and it might well be accepted by Andalusia, but then again, it might not, so there might well be a continuing rivalry between those two. I don't know. But Andalusia at least has the history of accepting deals like that, and they are pretty good deals. Like, if Andalusia did that, then he doesn't need to worry about trade at all. He just needs to worry about making sure that Portugal pays up. In other words, I'm still spreading capitalism even though this isn't Civ 6. I'm always spreading the law of the prophet. Can I show the New World? I can indeed. So over in the New World, we have got Ireland has arrived at last. So there are now 4 colonial powers. The biggest one is, I would say, Portugal. They have formed Caribas already. They have formed Portuguese Brazil and are continuing to expand that. Where are they colonizing right now? Plus they're in India. I'm amazed. 1558 and they are in India. That's kind of crazy. So where are you colonizing right now? Cauca, so he's going for Colombia, he's taking over Panama, which is reasonable. Argentina, I don't think I've ever established a colony in Argentina, ever. I don't know why, but yeah, that is where they are going. Then we have got Andalusia here in Cuba, and they have still not yet formed a colonial nation in Cuba, although as soon as this province finishes, which is very soon, then they will. So there's going to be 2 colonial nations in the Caribbean, and I suspect the AI will continue to colonize this area. Then we've got Holland, who have just arrived in Chesapeake. I'm surprised he didn't go for Manhattan. That's New Amsterdam, don't you know? And then we have also got Ireland over in Newfoundland. I know that Denmark is trying to get colonial. Denmark has now seen Greenland, so they could ostensibly start doing that. Finnmarken and Roskilde. So at the moment, Denmark is investing their colonists in just boosting the development of their home provinces. I wonder if he's noticed that he can get Greenland yet. I'm not sure. Oh, England's having some... No. Holland is having some rebel problems. Holland's at war. Holland's at war. Who are they fighting? Brunswick, Andalusia. It's the Protestant League. No way. Okay, so the world is in flames. Everyone joined the Protestants. Andalusia is in trouble. Now, the rules do still hold here, so they're not allowed to take stuff from Andalusia, but the war leader is AI. And the AI is not bound... Oh no, Austria is the war leader. So Austria is still bound by the rules. They can't take anything from Andalusia, but they can piece them out. So this religious league war is going to end. The Protestants are going to win, which I think is going to see Austria seizing the emperorship back again. I wonder if Austria has done a deal in order to see them become emperor. Because everyone joining the Protestants like this is kind of crazy. Aragon's going to be kicking themselves. Ottomans are going to be kicking themselves. Aragon's not actually here. But had those players joined, then they would have the really, really nice modifiers that having been in the League War would grant you. And I think those last the rest of the game, too. Isn't Brunei in the New World? I don't think they're there yet. Brunei is in Australia. Yeah, they're not there yet. I know they're thinking about it. I know they want to. But they've not done it. Oh. Oh, no, you're right. You are absolutely right. They are in Argentina as well. So we could be seeing a little bit of a colonial struggle between the Portuguese and the, Brunei. And Brunei is very strong colonially, if I remember. I think they have exploration and expansion. Yep. They've gone from the very start of the game to try and get those two. And Brunei could well start getting technologies from the New World. That's going to be hilarious if the technology starts spreading from the west to the east. Sorry, the east to the west. That's what I meant. What the hell, Viking? That's... Oh, okay. Good thing, cause Andalusia would be really upset to come to his country, flipping to Australia. Andalusia, and getting wrecked in a League War. Yeah, exactly. What DLC lets you upgrade Centers of Trade? That is Dharma. Which I still maintain is one of the best DLCs that they've ever released. Sorry, I thought you were saying something else, Viking. It's cool. I was just like, how is that relevant to anything that's happening? So, yeah. Anything else going on? Denmark's in a war. Who's Denmark fighting? England again? No, League War, of course it is. Yeah, we should probably be actually, you know, looking at what's going on here. So if we take this from Austria's perspective, I suspect that Austria is going to have a lot more sight on what's going on. I think I might actually switch this to diplomatic so we can see. The numbers are just going to be outrageous. 285,000 infantry versus 58,000, 77,000 cavalry against 20,000, and then 55,000 artillery against 12. The only place where there's any kind of parity is naval, and that's only because the number of galleys are roughly equal. Ferrara's in this war. Brabant is in it. That's going to be good for Holland. They're going to want to weaken them as much as possible, so just sit on them. Don't want to take any land, though. That would be Coalition Central. Timurids took land from Kazan. Yes, they did. It definitely looks like the Timurids are working to cut off the Commonwealth. I mean, somebody has to. So, good on you, Timurids. Good on you. And the Mamluks took a little bit of land from Karakanulu, but not a huge amount. It was mostly the wealthy provinces here, and this is all farmland, which you can dev up. So, reasonable. Right, back to this war. How is Andalusia suffering? Andalusia is just being occupied by Portuguese forces right now. I don't think they'll suffer too horrifically. I think Germany is going to go down a lot faster, but it's already at 65%. This war is basically over already. How did the Kara War turn out? Just showed you. They didn't take a lot, they took a little. A lot less than I thought they would, actually. So maybe Calico's learning not to antagonize all the other players, because that generally results in a lot of ire from those other players. Although I really do wonder how the Ottomans are going to respond to the clear trespass on their territory. Because that is what I would consider in my books Ottoman turf. It's just the Ottomans haven't taken it yet. Which is a surprise. Like, this is a very passive Ottomans right now. And I'm a little bit fearful that they're kind of letting things roll away from them. Like, what are the Ottomans doing? They're sitting on maximum manpower. Their income isn't terrible. It's actually fairly decent. They have got good advisors. Have they been building a navy? They do have a navy. They have an army. They're drilling it all. Karakanulu was... Oh, hang on.